Hello folks, the cold weather is upon us. I would say finally, but it feels like it's been here all year long. It's starting to get a little bit on the cold side. There are choice days where it's not quite as cold, but it will make you start to look towards your thermal layers or your base layers. And actually we have a load of new items on the table. This is from a Japanese brand called ZEROFIT, and these are the world's warmest base layers, which is a very bold claim that they do back up, and I will get onto that in a few moments. In their range, we have the Move, which is a lighter version of their base layer, and then we have the Ultimate, which is their strongest barrier against the colder elements. We also have a neck tube and socks. In case you're not familiar with them, the brand started in 2005, so I'm told, and they've moved into the biking world from about 2021 onwards, but they've been used quite a lot by people in outdoor activities where you might get cold. Things like fishing, things like golfing, and they've got some great reviews actually. People do speak very highly of these items, as do other bikers. You can find lots of reviews online backing up their claims that these are very good options for base layers. And what I also like to see is they won't break the bank either. They are in line with what you'd expect a base layer to cost. The Ultimate come in at about £60 for either the long sleeve top that we have on the mannequin here or the leggings. Both are around £60. And the socks and neck warmer come in at £25. So they have plenty of different options that cater to different budgets or different needs depending on where and how you ride. And like I say, if you compare them to their competitors, they're around the same price, but if their claims are to be believed, they are much warmer. So then, before I get into the details, I guess that's the most important question to answer. Did they impress me? Are they that much warmer than their rivals? The answer very succinctly would be yes. And would I recommend them to other people? It's kind of like the Scott Ergo Pros, where if someone's asking me for my highest recommendation for waterproofing, I tend to go to the Scott Ergo Pros. And the same would be true of these. I think if anyone asks me from today onwards what base layers they should buy if they suffer from the cold, then I would definitely point them towards ZEROFIT. They are that good. Now, they use science to back up that claim. So this is their own claim. This isn't something outlandish that I'm just throwing at these items. This is something they say about their own clothing. And they have sent it to an independent tester in Japan, the Boken Quality Evaluation Institute, in actual fact. Don't worry, I've never come across it either, and the rating that they use, I don't really understand necessarily, but the take home that I actually got from it was how much they exceed the quality of even a jumper. So actually, whilst they say it's about 5 times warmer than you'll find with their competitors, with their rivals in the base layer industry, it's actually around 2.5 times warmer than even a jumper, and allegedly performs higher than a quilted down layer. Now, we've been wearing these today, myself and Will. We went out on a shoot, and Will was in the Move. He spoke very highly of it, said it was very comfortable, said it was warm. I was in the Ultimate, and I would actually say it's a cold day today. It's not ridiculously cold. Obviously, it will get colder over the next few months, but I was possibly a little too warm, actually, in this. And like I say, take that as it is. It's not the coldest day, but it definitely is chilly outside. So I was wearing this just by itself, not with a t-shirt over the top, not with a jumper over the top. I took off the jacket as well whilst we were working. And I was also wearing the leggings and the socks. So I was fully kitted out, but it did a great job of keeping in the warmth. And when I say it was maybe a little too warm, again, in context, we were stationary. So on the bike, I'd say that's just about right. But what I can definitely tell you is it absolutely feels warmer than any other base layer that I've personally worn in the past. So then, if we look at the Ultimate first, it is a very flexible item. That is a must when it comes to base layers. And I think also the size is very usable. What frustrates me about some that I bought in the past is when they're a little bit shorter, or maybe even they shrink. And if they're about the right size when you buy them, if they do shrink in the future, then you'll find that you'll expose things, just a little gap around your waistline, which really pees me off. So this one is quite long, and I like that because it means you can tuck it in really easily. Same goes for the leggings. The leggings are also really flexible. Both of these are. And actually, if you bear in mind that I'm a 38-inch chest, I'm smaller than the mannequin, but he's wearing the same top as me. It is the large that he's wearing, and it fits him really well. I would also say that apparently it doesn't really matter if it's really tight fitting. Because of the way that this is made, You don't have to go for a super snug fit, whereas with traditional base layers, you tend to have to. That's part of what makes them so effective. So with this, if you do get it a little bit on the larger side and there's a bit more room in there, it's not a problem as far as keeping you warm. It just depends on what you prefer in terms of feeling from the item. The Ultimate has a different composition than you'll find with the Move, and I will get onto that in a moment. It is a synthetic fabric for the most part. It's 68% acrylic, it's 21% nylon, 2% polyester, 7% wool, and 2% polyurethane. And being a warmer item, they would say this is still effective in temperatures as low as -10 degrees Celsius. And in case you're wondering, and it is kind of crucial when it comes to this type of item, I'm thinking more of something like merino wool, which you might compare this to, which you have to wash delicately. With this one, you have to be sort of careful, in as much as you can only wash it up to 40 degrees Celsius, but it is machine washable. Just don't stick it in the tumble dryer. The name you'll see them reference is heat threads when it comes to the construction of this. So they have a patented knitting process. When you open it up, you'll see what they mean. So from the outside, it looks like a standard base layer. On the inside, you'll see that it looks a little bit closer to wool. So there are lots of these tiny little fibers, which when you stick it on, create a little bit of friction so that they generate heat effectively, and they will do a great job of then trapping that heat in. So they work instantly as soon as you put them on. Hence the term heat threads. Now, my concern was that wasn't going to be comfortable when I put it on. I don't like scratchy fabrics. I certainly don't want to make myself static. I don't want to touch people and get an electric shock. Actually, none of that happened. All I felt was cozy, actually, I would say. That's how I would describe it. I felt cozy in these, and I really didn't want to take them off because it is quite a chilly day, and even though the lights are on in the studio, I'm still a little bit on the cold side, so I might stick these on again in a few moments. But really comfortable actually on there. And I personally didn't feel any irritation from the inner fabric. You'll find that same principle on their neck warmer, but this is the only item of theirs which I think could do with some attention in the future just to make it slightly better. I understand how this would be useful to most people outside, but to a motorcyclist, I would say this is on the short side. Now bear in mind, if you stick this on with their long sleeve top, you also have this additional bit of fabric at the top there, so actually they'll combine together quite well, but still short. It also means you can't really pull it up to your face, which I wouldn't necessarily want to do anyway, because whilst these fibers on the inside aren't irritating to my skin overall, I don't want them over my face or my mouth. So actually, I probably wouldn't pull this particular thing up any higher. I would say for the future, if they were making this more tailored to motorcycle riding, I would make it slightly longer so you can pull it up, and I would make or limit these fibers to your neck section and not around your face, so you can pull it up a little bit neater. So this is still kind of nice, but I have seen better neck tubes from other manufacturers. The rest of their base layer range, I would definitely still stick with. The Move, however, has a slightly different composition, so it is more lightweight, and it depends what you're doing on the bike. So if, for example, you're riding in slightly warmer conditions, so still cold, but not quite as cold as you would need with the Ultimate, this is rated, from them at least, recommended down to about -5 degrees Celsius, which generally speaking, I don't ride much lower than that anyway. So this would be a nice item to wear for most people on the bike, I think. And also, it is significantly more moisture wicking as well. So if you are more active on the bike, maybe you're taking this to do some adventure riding, this would probably be my pick, and maybe a little bit more versatile for a lot of people out there. And they say it's still 2 times warmer than its closest competitor. The composition of this is 45% polypropylene, and it has a polyester shell. And then you'll also notice on the table the Ultimate socks, so the same composition as the Ultimate leggings and the long sleeve top. You can go for either the really long versions or the standard length. I was wearing the standard length and they're, again, very, very flexible, so actually tall enough for me. I would personally go with the standard pair. Like I said at the start, it's a very bold claim, so you make the warmest base layers in the world, but they really do back it up. So if anyone asks me in the future which base layers I would recommend, it probably will be these. If you want to see them for yourself, then check out the links in the description, and I'll see you soon.